So that's interesting. Woo! Anyway, Cry Macho, Clint Eastwood. And I'm a fan.
Of Clint Eastwood?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Why?
Unforgiven was an amazing movie.
How much can you relate to Clint Eastwood?
Do you need to relate to somebody to like the movie?
So what
Do you relate to these Koreans in Squid Games?
I'm broke
Yeah.
as fuck, bitch. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm a down and out broke man with
Korean man?
I'm a broke Korean man with red hair.
All right, Sang-woo.
Listen, my daughter lives in
Chang-woo?
America now.
Yeah.
So all right,
Anyway,
yeah,
Cry Macho.
Mr. Eastwood with your jacket.
It's a nice jacket.
You look like a young Clint Eastwood. I gotta
Thank
say.
you.
What? A young Hispanic.
Thank you.
Yeah, young Hispanic.
Doesn't
Indian version
doesn't
of
hate
Clint.
Japanese people.
I don't speak no languages.
When I think Clint Eastwood, I think the term zipperheads, and
Oh my god, there's a compilation on YouTube. It's just Clint Eastwood being racist for like 10 minutes. It's
That's what I'm
fucking, it's
saying.
amazing.
I'm googling
It's
that right now.
amazing. I'll
That's what
send
I'm
it to you
saying.
guys. I will watch it with you guys
Yeah,
after this.
no, that's what I'm saying.
It's fucking great.
He's an old white guy, and like you could see on every cover of every movie he ever
He's
does.
the coolest old racist
Not
I've ever
at
seen.
all. There's nothing cool about him. He's just
just-
old and white.
He just doesn't give a shit. And it's great. It
man.
personifies the cool parts of racist America.
You know.
Please say that. That's a clip. I mean, that's going.
It personifies the coolest parts of racist America.
Shit. I put this up. I was
Your
to
white
say-
power, huh?
I was trying to say A-OK, but
Yeah.
came
Well,
off wrong.
Racist Mel.
All insults and racial slurs. 5 minutes.
It's so good.
Can you just put one clip up to the mic real quick so they can hear?
How about that dragon lady?
Just keep your hands off my dog.
You people.
He's in a room full of Asians when he said that. Just
Oh, that's Gran Torino. It's
Yeah.
so good. Yeah.
There you go. That's a good one. We're done.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
Well,
It's like you don't need that
all right,
to
so
tell a
Cry
story.
Macho. I'm just going to fucking lay out the plot here. The movie starts off with his boss. And Clint Eastwood is like a 92-year-old ranch hand.
Racist ranch hand.
Yeah, and the boss is like, you're not what you used to be since the accident.
You mean his age?
Listen,
There-
man, I
there-
should have retired a long time ago. I'm on borrowed time. I haven't seen my daughter in 14 years.
Yeah, so he's showing up late and like hungover at like 92. So the guy's like, I'm gonna have to fire you. And he's like, fuck you, I'm out. And then it just says 1 year later in the next scene, and it's like
So a year.
the
That's
bo-
it? It just cuts.
Yeah, the
Is he
boss.
wearing glasses to show that he's aged?
Yeah, and the boss shows up. He's like, hey, I know I
He's
fired
just
you.
wearing a different shirt.
I know I fired you last year, but I need a favor. And he's like, okay, what is it? And he's like, you remember when I had your back after your wife and son died in that accident? He's like, yes.
Backstory.
He's like, well, my son is in Mexico, and I can't go to Mexico because you know I got problems there. He's like, you're the only one that can save my son.
because you know I got problems.
My ex-wife is crazy. She lives in Mexico. Go find her and steal my son back. He's like, okay.
Sounds like a fucking.
So like he
video game.
drives to Mexico, and he gets there, and like it's like this 40-year-old like fucking novella star. Like she's like a hot like 40-year-old Mexican chick, and she's like, oh, you want my son? Oh, my husband, he told you that I'm crazy. I'm not crazy.
It's 2016.
Yeah.
You want to take my abuelita?
Yeah, and she's like, well, my son, he's crazy. He's on the street. He fights chickens.
Like
and
he physically fights the chickens, or
cockfighting.
so does
If
he?
you follow us on
No.
Patreon, you'll see a video of us cockfighting later.
Please
That's not the
don't.
we
same
have,
kind that
we
he
have a
does.
Patreon now. We should probably start advertising that.
I didn't know that we had that.
Yeah, that's
surprise.
news to me.
Hey, we got a Patreon now. It's not set up yet. I'm working on it, but it's getting there.
All right.
Give us your money. Give us your money.
At least 73 cents at a
Give
time.
us your money.
All right. So anyway, so the wife's like, I'll tell you where he is if you fuck me. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I'm just here to save the kid. And she's like, oh, you think I'm a whore because I wanted to fuck you? And like, there's like a shootout scene
With her and him?
Yeah, and like
Fuck you!
her bodyguards, and like he flees and he gets away, and like he just like walks like down the street, and like the kid's right there like fighting a rooster, whose name is
Hey.
Macho.
Hey, are you macho?
And he's like, And like he like finds the kid and he's like, "Oh, you're Macho, or you know, you're the kid with the rooster." He's like, "Oh yeah, how do you know my dad?" And he's like, "Your dad sent me to save you."
You're the kid with the cock, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And then the cops show up, and he hides behind a box for like 4 hours. This 92-year-old man, like in the middle of the night, is just hiding behind a box.
They see him. They're just like,
They never
just
find
feel
him.
bad for
They
him.
never find the guy.
Like,
It's
we
so
see him, but
fucking
let's just
ridiculous.
let him have
He's
it.
just sitting there.
The guy can barely move, but he's just like, I'm just gonna hide behind this box for 5 hours till the cops leave.
Can we get a clip of that?
Yeah, I'm sure we can.
Get a clip of him hiding behind the box.
So then, like, he leaves. He's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna leave without the kid." And like, he wakes up, or I'm sorry, he's driving out of Mexico, and then the kid like fell asleep in his back seat. He's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And
That was easy.
yeah, no, but he's like, "Your mom said that she was gonna have me killed if I took you back, so I'll get the fuck out." He's like, "I really want to meet my dad." The kid's such a fucking bad actor. Like, they literally,
Does he really like have
it's
that?
yeah. I want to meet my dad. Like,
Is it like Nacho Libre little kids?
It's
How they just
so
like
bad.
they're reading the script.
It is so.
Like, you know they are.
You pluck a random kid out of Santa Ana Elementary School. You told him act. And Clint Eastwood is known because he's so old. He doesn't like redoing scenes.
Yeah, he does one scene.
One scene. So like, there's a shitload of scenes in the movie where he's like, "Hey, hey, no." And it's like, what? It's like, why didn't they edit this?
It's like Joe Biden.
Yeah, basically.
Brandon.
Hey, let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Hey.
Anyway, so they.
So real quick, I'm so sorry. What is this, Brandon? I've been trying to. I don't know. What's,
Let's go, Brandon. They were at like a NASCAR race, and they were.
Yeah, can you put the video of us at the protest?
Oh, the one where you're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's go, Brandon!
Yeah, I'll
All
put
right,
that
so
up.
Let's Go Brandon was they were at a NASCAR race, and there was this girl interviewing this driver named Brandon, who I think won the race, and the whole crowd is just saying, "Fuck Joe Biden, fuck Joe Biden." You're talking like 5,000 people screaming, "Fuck Joe Biden," and
Because you couldn't imagine many Joe Biden supporters at a NASCAR event.
or anywhere. But the interviewer's like, "Yeah, they're really excited for you, Brandon. They're screaming, 'Let's go, Brandon!'" And like, they're clearly saying "fuck Joe Biden," but it's just like another example of like the media sweeping anti-Joe Biden sentiment
Well, I
under
mean,
the rug.
they can't be like, yeah, fuck Joe Biden on the.
No, but they could like cut out. But she was like, "Well, they're saying let's go,
Maybe
Brandon."
she was just an idiot and didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
It was very
highly
clear.
likely.
It was very clear. Like, how do
I
you
gotta see. Can we put
misconstrue
that clip? Let's put that clip there.
Yeah,
Let's-
Moment. Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, "Let's go, Brandon." Brandon, you told me.
I'll find
Fuck
the
Joe
clip.
Biden.
Now I know what it is.
Let's go, Brandon.
I was like, what
yeah.
the
So
fuck is
we
this Brandon
drove by
guy?
this group of protesters and
It was like anti-vaccine in
As
schools or some
or
shit.
It was vax, right? And we're driving by, and they all had "Let's go, Brandon," and I'm like, "Yeah, let's go, Brandon." You know, I knew they were protesting something, but I kept saying "Let's go, Brandon," so I was shouting it out. And then we're pulling away. And mind you, we had to drive by this 3 fucking times because we drove by it once, and I was like, "Dude, we got to drive back, right?" So we drive by it again, and then we turn, and we get stuck in this neighborhood to where it's like there's no exit. So we had to loop around, come back, and drive by them again. And by that time, it was awkward because like I made a big old scene the first time. The
And they're
second
like,
time,
"Yeah."
and I was like, "Who's Brandon?" He broke it down for me. I was like, "Oh, that's fucking hilarious."
Yeah.
Let's go, Brandon. Fuck Biden.
Well,
That's good.
Anyway, the plot of this is
Oh yeah, cry macho.
I'm so sorry.
Cry macho, by the
every
way.
woman in this movie wants to fuck Clint Eastwood, who's
I wanna
92
fuck
years
Clint
old.
Eastwood.
He meets a Mexican woman that doesn't speak any English, that falls in love with him, named Martha, who's like 50. He's 92, so he's got 42 years on her.
Damn.
And she
Christ.
still wants to fuck him. And he's like on the phone with like the dad, and the dad's like, "Ah, ha, ha, I tricked you. I'm stealing my son for tax purposes."
Fucking got him.
And he's like, "Oh, okay, whatever. I'm still gonna drop him off."
Yeah.
No,
What do you want me to do with that information?
And
I don't give a
and
fuck.
He tells the kid, he's like, "Hey, your dad doesn't really love you." He's like, "Oh." And like he still takes him back to America, and like there's this last scene where you're like, okay, Clint Eastwood, like he's built a bond with this kid, and he's gonna like take care of him. He's like, "Okay, here you go."
Oh, and he just gives him to
Yeah,
his head.
yeah, and then he goes back and fucks his 50-year-old Mexican chick.
I wasn't finished with
But the mom sends like an assassin to like kill Clint Eastwood.
And of course, Clint Eastwood kills him very easily.
No. Well, there's like this one scene where he like throws like a really shitty punch. Like it's so fake. It's like, yeah. But like the kid's like, oh, Macho. He like releases the rooster. Like the rooster like attacks this guy's face.
Oh, God.
He's ah.
You
And
know,
like
Clint Eastwood was sitting in
Yeah.
his house. What is his lake house? Just typing this up.
well,
This
he's
is going to
the
be fire.
executive producer, solely written by and starring Clint Eastwood.
He directed it too,
Yeah,
right?
and he produced. He paid for everything. So like
Homie
nobody
needs
can tell
to
him
just-
shit.
and
Homie
you,
needs just a
But like he needs somebody
go
in his
away.
ear, like, dude, like,
hey, chill,
not a good idea.
chill.
This would have this
This
movie
was an Amazon.
this movie
right?
would have worked.
Or was it HBO?
I watched this in theaters.
Oh, it was HBO then.
Yeah. This movie would have worked if Clint Eastwood was 50.
See, the thing
So
is,
42 years ago.
you still watched it. He still made money.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No. There was a $30 million budget. He made $3 million.
Oh,
And he's pretty old, so this may be his
he
last
really,
movie.
yeah, he really banked on himself there.
This is a really bad sizzle
Damn.
to go out on.
27 million.
He
just
should have
like-
gone out with Gran Torino.
Man, he could have gave the show 27 million. Imagine the production value we'd put into
We'd
the
have
show.
at least 3 more plants.
Well, he'd also be right. He'd also be right here though. Just like, you gotta say this. Talk about the gooks. Talk about the dragon ladies.
Talk about the
What?
fucking Jews again.
What? I don't want to
You-
do
yeah,
that.
you
Clint.
Talk about how Hitler wasn't wrong.
a mandatory 4 zipper head quota
I don't
per
want
episode.
to talk about that. Sponsored by Clint Eastwood.
It's 2016.
All right, that's all I got today.